Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make your very own custom crib sheets. I did want to preface this video by saying I am by no means a professional. I don't exactly know what I'm doing all the time with my sewing machine. I know enough to obviously make things and get around and them not fall apart. So I am just showing you something that I learned with my son, Cooper. I made all of his crib sheets and everything. They're still holding up to this day. And then I am incorporating those things, including crib sheets, diaper pad covers, burp cloths. She'll have head bows. He had bow ties, mittens, things of that sort. So I did make all of that for Cooper. I am in the process of making all of that for the new baby Jocelyn coming up. So if you are interested in seeing any other videos like this, let me know in the comments below. But that's just prefacing that by saying that I am by no means a professional. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So first up, let's run through some supplies that we're going to need. First up, we're going to need 2 yards of fabric. That does include the heel of the fabric. And then we're going to need some knit elastic. I got 1.5 yards at 1/2 inch thick, some measuring tape, a pair of scissors, a safety pin, preferably a larger one, some sewing pins, a pencil to mark your spots, and of course your sewing machine. So starting off, I'm going to unfold my fabric and find all 4 of my outer corners. Make sure it's all of the outer corners. You would not do good to cut the wrong corner. So I'm putting all 4 of those together. Turns out I already had them ready. So I'm getting all 4 of them put in the same spot. I'm measuring 8 inches, an 8-inch square, to cut that out. And then I'm going to mark that with my pencil. So both corners, and then I'm going to meet them in the middle. Take my scissors and cut out that square. And so you do have these 4 8-inch squares left over. I'm going to use them for either a quilt or some head bows or something. And then you are going to sew these corners together. This is the wrong side. We're going to put both of the right sides together to get 2 wrong sides out, if that makes sense. So we're just going to sew all 4 corners shut. And I'm going to do it on this little zigzaggy setting. So here we go, back stitch, forward stitch, so nothing comes undone. I'm doing again that zigzag all the way down, and I'm just going to show you what one looks like right now, but you do want to do it for all 4 corners. And cut that off. And this is what that should look like. It's cool if it's not perfect. No big deal. And that is again what your seam will look like. So now I'm going to fold in about 1/4 inch and then about 3/4 inches and pin it down. I'm gonna do this all the way around. I didn't show you what that looked like. This is definitely the most time-consuming part of this project for me, and this is also where I'm gonna go through and cut off all those little frayed edges. You do want to make sure to wash your fabric before you start this. That way nothing shrinks after it's all done. So again, we're pinning all the way around. That 1/4 inch and then that 3/4 inches. And you'll see I do cover the heel. We do want to keep it on just for length purposes. All right, so I am sewing all the way around that. I'm not sure why I showed you the entire thing, but I did. So as you are sewing all the way around, you're going to take out your little safety pins that you put in. And you're going to sew as close to the edge as you're comfortable with. We did get a 1/2 inch knit elastic, so as long as you still have about a 1/2 inch, we did give ourselves 3/4 inches to work with. As long as you leave yourself at least a 1/2 inch, you are good to go. And so you're sewing the heel underneath it, so it's not going to show on your actual crib sheet. So we're getting to the end here. We are going to leave just a small slit open to be able to feed the elastic through. I left about 1 inch, maybe 1.5 inches open, and then we will sew that closed after the elastic has been sewn through. So here's our last one. I'm going to backpedal it and cut it off. So here I'm going to go ahead and take our elastic and the safety pin and thread that through. The larger safety pin I find is much easier to control while you're threading the elastic through. I feel like the smaller ones are easier to get lost. You don't have as much to grip on, so the larger ones, in my opinion, do work better. This is the best way I've found to thread elastic. I think it's probably the most tedious part of this crib sheet. It's just a bunch of scrunching and pulling, so I do that all the way around. And I didn't film the whole thing because that would have been not as fun to watch. Alright, so we threaded through the entire thing. I'm going to pull my safety pin out and pull some of that elastic out as well. We are going to sew the elastic together, obviously, so it doesn't come undone. We got 1.5 yards of this elastic, and I find that's absolutely perfect for a crib sheet. So like I said, we're going to put these together and go back to our sewing machine. We're going to go back onto the zigzag setting of the sewing machine, and we're going to go forward and back on that a few times. I do think it's best to go ahead and do this as many times as you probably can, because you really just don't want that coming undone inside of the crib sheet later on. So make sure to go over that a few times. And then cut off your little yarn. So now we're just going to stretch it all the way out, make it all nice and even around, because some places will be tighter, some places will be looser, and it'll stretch out just perfectly with this 1.5 yards of elastic. And then we're going to go ahead and find the spot that we left open, that little inch that we did not sew shut, and we are going to go ahead and sew that back shut. So I do want to try to focus as much as possible to match my stitches to the previous stitches that were there. And of course you're going to backpedal it so nothing comes unraveled later on. And this is also where I'm going to go ahead and trim off all of the excess thread. And after this point, you are done. So I did take a couple shots of what it looked like on the actual crib mattress and inside the crib. So it does fit a standard size crib mattress perfectly. No issues with it being too tight or too loose. So here is just what it looks like. And then I am going to go ahead and show you a couple of the ones that I have done in the past. Obviously, any of these fabrics that you pick out are going to work the same as long as it has the standard fabric material. So here's just a few that I've done for baby Jocelyn. I do plan on filling up this drawer more and making coordinating diaper changing mattress cover things. So anyway, if you want to go ahead and see that, or the burp cloths, or the bibs, or the rompers, or the dresses that I make her, let me know in the comments below. I would be happy to film it for you. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe if you'd like to see more from me, and I will talk to you again next time. Bye.